US intelligence sources keep raising alarm about the potential of the Khorasan branch of the Islamic State, while at the same time the central structure in Syria and Iraq seems weaker than ever. What is going on?
US intelligence might have its own reasons for being a bit alarmist about the Khorasan branch of the Islamic State. Recently, actually some months ago, there were leaks of US intelligence reports mentioning as many as 15 Khorasan attempts or plans to attack Western targets in Turkey and Europe. And some of these were actually confirmed by Turkish government sources, so it's not mere speculation. We don't have the details, or I don't have access to the evidence. But I think there is at least a degree of truth in this, even if it is difficult to confirm. Centrally, what is out of question is that the Islamic State in general, but also the Khorasan branch, have been displaying a high level of resilience and, if you like, creativity in their operations. I think it is legitimate to remain focused on them and aware of their high capabilities, even if it's obvious that right now they're quite weak compared to even just a year ago.
So if you say they're weak, isn't this at odds with the US assessment?
The level of activities in Khorasan, for example, which in particular Afghanistan, which is the main center of operations for Khorasan, they've been very low so far in 2023, although the pace has increased in Pakistan, where they carried out some high-profile attacks. There are actually now signs that Khorasan might be recovering from the nadir they reached in spring, when almost had no money and they were totally unable to carry out operations. There's some more money flowing in, and as I said, they can be creative. They figure out how to get money into Afghanistan without having to rely on the informal banking system. It's not a lot of money. It's not enough to go back to their golden era, but anyway, it's better than it was some months ago. Of course, without money, even the most dedicated extremists can do little in the longer run.
Some people noted that the Islamic State criticized the Taliban's policies of gender segregation. Is this just opportunism?
And I think a good example of how the Islamic State can rely on a hardcore of highly dedicated members is the fact that they have actually are able to use even female members, which is quite unusual in general for Islamist groups, and especially in Afghanistan. Of course, the Taliban are known not to be in favor of women's education. The Islamic State is, even if that would have to happen within under a very strict Islamic law regime. They even have some female members. We don't know exactly the number, but we know there are a few that join individually out of personal conviction, and they mostly seem to operate in the propaganda section of the Islamic State in Khorasan, especially on social media. There are also, we know, several wives of Islamic State Card who tend to be, of course, the most motivated members. They have joined too, together with their husbands, and they were military trained, and in some cases they even took part in armed clashes, especially when the hideouts where they were living with their husbands or family was attacked by Taliban counter-terrorist teams. And of course, in part, this thing about women is a propaganda point for the Islamic State that tries to portray itself as, in a sense, more modern, if you like, than the Taliban. But I think there's also a degree of truth